Our youth need to know and see that they are so much more than what is perpetrated in this mainstream media.
What's happening here, with the battery pack, it's spinning the motor, but in a real engine, the gas in the car, because you need gas to power the car, so the gas will then power here, creating combustion.
I was very pleased at what I saw. I was not surprised because every time I go to the school, I always see the children working hard on their projects.
We have truss bridges that we made out of popsicle sticks, and they're able to hold up to 10 times their own weight.
This was a pleasure to be here. This is an excellent event.
My name is Cashapp, and what I like about the science fair is that I get to see different people how they made their projects.
So we did the research on the types of toilet systems, and we closely look at the differences between pressurized toilet system and gravity flush toilet system.
All right, today we're here with
William E. Grady. So we're the basketball team. Actually, we took a step into STEM.
Yeah. With this dude named Q right here, the man right there. Shout out Q. Shout out Q. Up, down, left, right, everything. Like close this and everything.
Just seeing all the beautiful minds and them actually understanding what they're doing and creating is beautiful.
The importance of this in the Black community is that we're only representing 9% of it. So choosing to do such and show others, it could hopefully increase that amount.
I have never been to a science fair where all the children are actively participating.
We are pushing and promoting that we are changing the faces of STEM.
I really love seeing mechanical physics. I love physics. And so I love seeing the increase of mechanical physics and electronics.
So it doesn't work right now, but before, when it was on, it was spinning. This is my project. It's a bridge.
This is an amazing event. This is the second year that it's ever being done. These kids are outstanding. They're incredibly intelligent. And we just want to thank everybody who participated. We want to thank everyone who showed support. And we look forward to doing it again next year.
So happy that we're here. The students are excited, they're presenting, and they didn't understand how intense this would be. So it's really good for them to see their age group, middle school students, high school students, and how serious this discipline of STEM is and how far it can go.
Elevator, as you can see the base, 6'3". Then you're 6'3". Then wood, two-way pulley system, a gear, bicycle chain, rope, screws, then your actuator power supplies.
I really love seeing all of the growth in the kinds of technology that they were doing.
So all you need to do is find one of the buttons and links and just get involved.
Happy Saturday, happy Saturday, happy Saturday. Welcome back to On the Shoulders of Giants. I am Joseph Ward, and I got something good for you this week. We are learning about the Zax Institute and how, as you saw in the video, how they are changing the faces of education through STEM, how they are empowering our young Black youth through STEM education, and not just STEM education, but African-centered STEM education, strictly designed for Black students to help empower them, to help uplift them, to help encourage them, to help change their future. Like, they are boots on the ground right now, empowering our youth right now. And that's what we're getting into today, because of course, we know this is built off our show last week, and shout out to Professor Carl Tom Jones for being able to set this up and allowing me to connect with this brother. This brother has been doing a lot of great things in this community for a long time. I've heard nothing but great things about him throughout the years, and I'm happy to have this brother on my stage, on my platform, on the Shoulders of Giants, so we can make sure that we are supporting what he has going on. You know, We want to make sure that we are putting our energy and our time and our effort into people who are actually uplifting their children. So this is what we're getting into today. So our guest today is the brother Q Butter. He is the founder of the Zax Institute and the Zax Movement, a science advocate, educator, and innovator with a vast entrepreneurial background. A committed Black nationalist and Pan-Africanist, he has dedicated his life to building institutions that empower Black communities through education, science, and self-determination. With a vast background in community service and works, Q Butter has led initiatives that bring STEM education, environmental engineering, and social justice directly to underserved neighborhoods. His creation of environmental engineering labs in Brooklyn, New York, and Kingston, North Carolina marks a historic achievement, offering Black students opportunities to engage in real-world research on air and water quality robotics and LOT technology. We're going to learn about what that is. As both an educator and entrepreneur, Q Butter bridges education with innovation, activism, and science, and community service with global Pan-African vision, ensuring that future generations of Black youth are equipped to lead and transform the world. And with that, I welcome to the stage the good brother, Q Butter. How you doing, my brother? Welcome to On the Shoulders of Giants, my brother. How you doing?
Peace, King. Peace, King.
Man, I'm excited to have you on my stage, man. I'm excited to have you here. Like I said, Professor Carl Tone Jones has said nothing but great things about you. Everybody who I've been able to come across and have a conversation with in the past who mentioned your name mentioned nothing but great things about you. So first and foremost, thank you for all that you've done for our youth and our community. Thank you for giving your time, energy, your effort, and just like you've been uplifting generations of people in your community, man. And congratulations and thank you for all that you've done.
Appreciate that, Ken. Appreciate that, man. Still just getting started. I'm just getting started. Got a long way to go.
Man, but you've done a lot, though. You've already done a lot. You've helped, like I say, young Black people be able to do things that they probably wouldn't have done if they wouldn't have came across you. You know, I'm a product of people like yourself reaching back and creating opportunities for people, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a gentleman like yourself named Sam Carter in my community. So people like you are near and dear to my heart, because the heroes without the capes and the everyday people who are boots on the ground, and you find a way to get things done, whether you have the resources or not, but you get it done, and generations of people have benefited. So thank you, and welcome to the stage. And man, look, if there's any way that we can help you over here, please let me know.
Will do. I appreciate that, King. That means a lot, man. Definitely means a lot, man.
Yes,
it's platforms like these that keep the motivation going, keep the community connected.
We have to. So I want to go ahead and get into some information about you, learn more about you, and how you got here. And so first and foremost, like, I know I did a background of you, read your bio, but who is Q Butter? Give us your answer of who is Q Butter and what led you to down this STEM technology and working in your community.
I am a father, businessman, entrepreneur, educator, lifelong learner. You know, I don't want to say community activist, but community something, you know, whatever titles they put on people. And in terms of inspiration, my pops, you know, my mother, you know, my parents inspired me. My own experiences in the school system, seeing the parallels with other students in the school system, other Black people in the school system. And of course, ultimately, the development of my ideology centered on like independence, you know, as a Pan-African, as a Black nationalist, there's always that underlining sovereign independence goal that we have. And these are not just Black people, you know, who have pride in themselves. You know, having a sense of independence is important, you know, entrepreneurial aspect. So that's, you know, they're looking at the realities in the school system, the lack of representation, lack of opportunity, the lack of direction, leadership, because of leadership in the school system. And what does that mean? And what has it meant for us as for generations in America. You know, we can go back good 40 years of schooling and look at the effects and the progress and the impact of the public school system. And how long do we want to complain about it? You know, or how long do we want to? What are we doing about it? And I want to be a part of the conversation of doing something about it. So
Yes, sir.
I started with homeschooling my children, and I had programs, like I had a GED program before that, and I was always promoting education and trying to get people to, you know, empower themselves. But once I did the GED program, then later on I had a music studio. The name Zax we came up with in college, and it was a name that we came up with that we can put on top of anything, you know, whatever we want to do, we can call it Zax. So I became pretty known in the city in New York for my music studio, and that was called Zax Studios, and that kind of took off for a little while. And it's still running, but that in the GED program, I was trying to introduce into there because of many of the individuals who, my brothers who come in the studio, didn't finish school, and I knew that would be a dampening variable in terms of their future success without accomplishing that simple feat. And in my own trials and tribulations, I saw issues with the school system, you know, a lot of personal accountability, but still in terms of the space itself and what does it mean for me as a Black man and as us as a community. So that's why I said I'm going to homeschool my children. I put a video out talking about churches in Brooklyn and how they're wasting space. So I was like, if I get a space, I'm going to turn it into an educational space, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And so the location where I had the music studio, it was a residential location, and they gave me the first floor as an option.
Right.
And I said, I'll take the first floor. So I had a photo studio in there, but I put a wall up and said, I divided the room and said, I'm going to make this side for my students who homeschool. I was doing an event called Educating Us, and I was doing another one called Let's Build in Brooklyn at Medgar Evers College and at Restoration.
Okay.
And one of the conversation points was like, what are we doing outside of just meeting and doing community, you know, events and panel discussions? Like, so I said, once I got the space, I'm gonna try to do as much as I can in there. So I was doing, you know, STEM program, homeschool program, GED program, adult program, whatever I could put inside of this room, I'm gonna put into the room. And so that began the journey of creating the Zax Institute.
Gotcha. Nah, that's amazing, man. You saw an issue within your community and you decided to do something about it. And I'm here in Florida, so I'm used to my life to hearing about how our Florida educational system is like one of the worst educational systems that a student can be in the United States. And the county next to us, Gaston County, Florida, that's the only all black, predominantly Black county in the state of Florida. And it has like the worst education system in the state of Florida. They got like the worst resources in the state of Florida. So it blows my mind when I still hear about places, especially like when you're talking about this education system in New York, because I'm always hearing it compared to here in Florida. So it always makes it seem like everything is better. But then to hear you speak about your experience with the education system in New York and wanting to homeschool your children with the same passion that I would want to do mine here in Florida, it just opened my eyes to seeing that the overall education system in the United States for Black children is not good, and we do need to be the ones taking full control of educating our kids and making sure that what they learn and the people who are pouring into them are the people who care about them. Nah, man. So that I appreciate all that. That like you doing that is amazing, man. So like, why STEM? Like, do you have a background in STEM, or like why is STEM one of the pathways that you decide to take with the children?
Sustainability and empowerment. And I'm a STEM head, you know.
Okay.
I'm an audio engineer, and I went to school. Part of my high school was in auto mechanics. I went to school for astrophysics. I did drop out at college, but I did go to school for astrophysics. So
okay,
I've always been obsessed with science.
Okay.
I'm really good with, you know, making things and putting things together, and I have a natural inclination to mechanical devices. And
right.
So that's I felt like that was also stifled in the school system in many different ways. The culture in school is anti-school in many spaces. You know, from the kids, the community is not one that embraces school in a really fun way. And I had to really figure out how to make that in our program. And it's still a process of creating a space where like we want to celebrate being smart and developing skill sets. You know, when I meet students in the video you played, those are a blend of students. So like when I meet students in regular school and I ask them like, what does STEM mean? And they typically don't know. You know, 9 times out of 10, 9.9 times they typically don't know. They may get 2-3 letters like, but in that the whole thing, they don't know the application aspect of it or the connectivity to it. And when we think about the effects of the lack of exposure in terms of, and how that relates to employment, you know, less than 9% of Black people involved in STEM in the country, and that's with the public school system. So that's one of my biggest arguments. And that if you connect that to the educational wealth gap, the educational gap and the wealth gap have a direct correlation. And employment opportunities directly relate to employment. So that's kind of what I knew that from the GED program. With people were coming to my studio, I'm like, you can't sell weed to pay for your studio time. Like, it's like, maybe if you're a big drug dealer, but if you're just selling a little weed on the corner and little drugs, like, no, get a GED, go get a job, and now you can do all the music you want. You're never gonna get signed, but at least you can do your music, and you're not affecting your future by this choice. And looking at that, following that same path, and thought for me with the Institute was like, I need to figure that out. Like, I need to figure out how to expose that. And I was looking at my childhood with my pops and looking at the things he would do with me in terms of projects, and how I didn't get that in school, and just what I would have did more. So I was like, I'm gonna do more of this with my kids. And when I began the homeschooling journey and people began to get involved with the program, I naturally had a chip on my shoulder to make sure that it's legit as best as possible. We're keeping up with what is legit, you know, and to represent Black. So we're a homeschool program, and we service homeschool parents. We're not a school. I am considering, now that we have a new location or 2 locations, I'm considering the school opportunity. However, I'm focused on Black people. And if I say the word school, legally, I have to open my doors for everybody.
Right.
And so as a nonprofit, we can explicitly service a specific population in terms of the program. So this specific program in our nonprofit is for Black people only. We can create other programs that could be for Black and Latinos, Black and Brown, but, you know, or we want to play the, you know, people in poverty, minority game. We can create programs that are specific to that audience. And each program doesn't need to be like that. And I feel education needs to be explicitly, like, education is a service. You know, you go to public school, you get a service, and it's a responsibility that's attached to it because of the compulsory laws. So for us in the community, putting that responsibility on the public school system by data has proven not to be the most beneficial thing for us. We're not successful in STEM. So we're not leading in doctors, we're not leading in engineers, we're not leading in scientists, we're not leading in researchers. And so those are the big money fields. And if we're not in those fields in Black America, what does that say for the rest of the Black world in the diaspora and on the continent? And so these are real issues when we look at different countries in the Caribbean. There's a shortage of engineers throughout the Caribbean. There's a shortage of doctors and engineers in Africa. And they have to, you know, outsource to China, outsource to Germany, outsource to different countries because they don't have the pool of, you know, the educational pool to, you know, grab from. And so that is a real issue in our community. And when we attach it to sustainability, we need plumbers, you know, we need electricians, we need scientists, we need doctors. Black people live longer with Black doctors.
But it makes sense. I mean, how can you build a society without the know-how? How can you sustain yourself without the know-how? I feel it's like our community and a lot of the adults are stuck on the idea of we're just gonna let the kids do whatever, and we're not gonna really direct them anywhere because we want to be rich and we want them to be rich. And I know, so we're gonna put them in sports first, especially if you're a young athletic black man. We're gonna put you in sports, and then, or we want you to be a celebrity. Nowadays, you can be an influencer. So go just do things that don't keep the society going. And a celebrity is not important. An athlete is not important to society. The person who picks up your garbage every day is more important than the person running down the field on the TV that we're watching. Let them not pick the trash up for 6 months and see what happens.
You'll see who runs what in the city real quick.
Exactly. Like, you people are going to be sick, all of that stuff, man. So I want to give a good shout out to the chat. Battle Genja, Melanated Goddess, Nemesis X. Big shout out to Professor Carl Tone Jones in the building with the $20 super chat. We appreciate you. They are asking about a link to donate to the Zax Institute that we could put in the chat.
Oh, I got you. I'll put it in there. Shout out to Professor Carl Tone. I met him through we was doing a community events. I think it was Let's Build. And I was bringing people together doing panel discussions at Mega Evans College. And he's been, in my college, helping me design the program and just being involved in any way possible. So it's definitely shout out to Professor Carl Tone. Just being super dope black community for black people and nonstop. That's the connection, right? Philly, New York connection.
Okay. That's what's up. You're breaking up a bit. Man, peace to everybody. Thank you to everybody who in here today. Welcome to the chat. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Please comment, subscribe, share. We have a great show for you today. We're talking about actually helping the kids for real. So somebody who's boots on the ground, who's deep in this community, who's been supporting the kids, pouring into the kids via the Zax Institute out of Brooklyn, New York. And we just want to make sure that we support the people who are doing incredible things in our community. And shout out once again to Professor Carl Tone Jones for making this connection and allowing us brothers to get together and do what we do and talk about the goodness that's going on in the community. A little technical difficulty, but we're gonna let the brother get that back together, and then we're gonna get back into the interview. But I appreciate everybody coming in. So as you can see, Professor put in the chat that they had the first all-black science fair in Brooklyn. And at the top of the show, I showed you a clip of the latest science fair that they had in Brooklyn. And what I loved about that clip is not just the passion, but the excitement that the parents had and the passion and excitement that the children had in the video, talking about the things that was going on. One of the young ladies in the video mentioned that it was the first time she went to a science fair that all the students were involved and all the students were excited about what they were doing. And all the students were passionate and they were able to explain what they were doing. And it wasn't like one of those little rinky-dink science fairs. Like, they're actually really doing like next level things at the science fair because they're actually being taught and poured into properly. And it's not just one person stuck in front of the classroom and just teaching and trying to point to all the students. So Q, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I had to switch rooms. I'm in my new location, but we don't got the internet set up yet. So
okay, now you fine. You fine. But
I wanted to do the walkthrough so when we get a chance we can see the new spot in Brooklyn.
No, I got you. I just want to make sure you was good on your end. But everybody, make sure y'all hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share. Once again, thank you, Professor Carl Tone Jones, for getting in, for coming in. Battle Genja said, this is why biblical-based education will never surpass the STEM system. Combat science needs to be bottled in to avoid another Tulsa situation. Yeah, we got to be in control of our situation. So like we always talking about with Dr. Amos Wilson and saying our education needs to make sure that it helps us solve our problems and solve our issues. And if our education ain't helping us solve our issues, are we really being educated or are we just being indoctrinated? So we got to think about that. So these science fairs, everybody keep raving about these science fairs that you got going on, man. Please give us more details about these science fairs and what goes on. But how do you get the students and the parents so excited about these science fairs?
So honestly, the idea of the science, some of them in Psycho Online, but we needed a way to show off our students and bring other people in the community so they can be motivated with the project. Because it was real, it was an internal thing. So he's like, well, let's find a way to get the students to participate in other schools so they can see what we're doing, and it'll be an easy way for people to do a compare and contrast of what our students are able to do. Unfortunately, upon starting at the fair, we quickly realized that most schools are not able to compete or even participate just to show off their work. And that created the project Changing Faces of STEM, where it's like, all right, I was solicited. Last year I was a science advocate for the Society for Science. One of the things I was pushing with them is to get students, and I'm still doing that this year, to get students to be a part of the next generation in the state level science fairs for competition and national science fair competitions. And unfortunately, the Black representation is very minimal in there. And the process, although not difficult, if not started on time and properly guided, is not something easy to transverse. And so that helps keep, not to say it's on purpose, but unfortunately that process, if we want to call it bureaucratic, unfortunately helps stifle the representation of Blacks and participation of Black people in those programs. So with Changing Faces of STEM, the goal is to say, one, we need a consistent event for Black students to participate in, even if not competing, just representation and communication of science goals and projects in STEM. And then from there, using that as a catalyst to create a culture around it. So I've been really wanting to create that in our community where people are used to hearing the word science fair and making it like a tournament. We got some of the dope hood tournaments. Everybody knows the Kenny Anderson Classics in Brooklyn, the Stephen Marbury tournament, the West Fork tournaments in New York. So they got tournaments in New York. I want to get science to have that impact in the community. And especially from a Pan-African Black nationalist perspective. Like, if we're talking this Black power stuff, we should be producing the most engineers. Like, if we're talking this Garvey stuff, we should be producing the most doctors. There shouldn't be a shortage of Pan-African doctors if we're on our game. There should be the most of them coming out. Like, no, we got tons of them. We produce 10,000 engineers every year in Pan-Africans and Black nationalists. That shouldn't even be a doubt.
Right.
We have, 50,000 plumbers. Like, this is, come to us. We got that down. We may still have some other issues we figuring out, but we got some electricians.
Right.
We got some plumbers. So that should be, easy to have now.
No, but it makes sense though. It makes sense. No, because I'm glad you answered that, because that's what I was. My next question I asked you was the connection between like STEM and Pan-Africanism and Black nationalism, but you answered it like it's our survival, our actual like literally building our future. But it makes sense. Like, all right, so if everybody's a internet influencer. That means we're still literally dependent upon white supremacy for our actual survival, for the foundation that will be put into us to be able to be influencers. How do we build?
How do we build? AI has the capability right now. With entrepreneurship, STEM, and AI, we can seriously attack the economic wealth gap.
Right.
If we're not doing that, then in the exact same statement, with AI, entrepreneurship, and STEM, we could be further. The wealth gap will be even further created. Like, there's not going to be a shortage of millionaires in this generation. There's going to be way more millionaires, and the ones who can use their entrepreneurial skills, their electrical engineering skills, their medical skills, and AI they're going to flourish. And if we're stifling our growth by not exposing our students to these fields,
right,
it's just mathematics, you know, however we can do it. So I'm trying every part, like having an institute that's dedicated to Black children, programs that we can put into schools, partnerships with colleges and schools, like really having that layout. I think we dropped the ball as a community with certain things in terms of education, and nothing against the culture and the art component, but we put a heavy emphasis on the culture and the art component. And for me at the institute, with our institute, we kind of, people get at me that, but I'm more put the emphasis on like the social justice aspect of African-centered education. And yeah, I saw the question on the screen.
Yeah.
Because you study schools for trades, electricians, and HVAC. Yes, and we need help with that. So if you are an electrician, general electrician, I have one brother working with us, and I have the college with. And we have another brother who's an electrical engineer. And so we're trying to marry the two because they're in the same world, but they're two different areas. So just to answer that one, in terms of HVAC, we do not, but our mechanical engineering and mechatronics program kind of focuses on that. One of the projects we do is sort of smart home. Do I have it here? But we have a vent system that the students have to code. So one vent opens or one fan turns on with this temperature. It's like a DHT sensor. What I have one. This is, I have, I don't know, one that was laying around here somewhere, but there's a DHT sensor and right here. And so that would activate, you know, once it hits a certain temperature, and this would, one of these or another temperature sensor would activate the fan, and one fan would act as the duct, one fan would act as the cooling system. And so basic projects like that introduced into HVAC systems. We do some stuff with fluid mechanics. I would like to learn more about how to connect the early projects to HVAC. But right now, the cooling systems, we also do PLC systems with microcontrollers to introduce them to programmable logical controllers. So that's this. So I'm in, this is my, right now the room I'm in is being developed as our environmental engineering room. Really hype about it. But this right here is a ESP32, and the board on it is expanded, but we use this as a, you know, you can say as a PLC, but it's a microcontroller, but we use it as a PLC to control whatever you want to have to control. But we use this to introduce students to like IoT and physical computing projects and so on and so forth. But like things that are applicable right now in today's time. And I think that's something I want to bring to the African-centered, you know, community, the Pan-African community, like us aligning ourselves. And there's people I'm looking at them following as well, who have models that are similar, that like they've embedded themselves in a certain way with terms of education, research, science, and entrepreneurship. And I think that's a healthy space that I want to position ourselves in with our institute. So I want this to be running when I'm dead. You know what I mean? I want to be long dead. I want my grandchildren to be growing and still like, yeah, my grandfather started this 100 years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's, I ain't gonna be here, but that's my goal. You know?
Right.
That's,
nah, man. What's cool as hell though is like you break the mold as well. Like
I ain't with my gold. I was gonna wear my gold teeth.
You shoulda.
I got them in the bag. I was gonna put the gold teeth on too. I was like, I ain't know the platform. People like, yo, Q, you be coming on mad hood. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be like halfway hood.
No, but it's you as well. But it's like breaking the mold, because it's like, especially for young Black boys, young Black men growing up. I'm 41, so coming up, especially like in the South, you know, gold teeth and all that is a part of the culture and stuff down here. But it was separated from. It was like, if you look like this, then you're not intelligent, and you have to be like the geek to be intelligent. And so I know a lot of us shun intelligence because the way it was packaged to us, like, if I'm intelligent, I'm gonna be lame. But what I love about gentlemen like yourself is, nah, I am who I am. I'm from where I'm from. I look how I look, and I'm even more intelligent than you are. Watch this.
Humbly.
Because intelligence is the application of the information that you know, and you accurately apply the information, and we know it works because other people can take that information and run with it. Nah, man, keep doing your thing, man.
Running is the main part. Like, if we're not running with the information, like, I wasn't raised in the Black thought world like that. Like, not that my Black thought came from my pops. You know what I mean? Like, that's my foundation of Black thought, is my father. And so
yeah,
I learned about like Amos Wilson's, Francis West Wilson's, like when I got on the internet. My introduction to Pan-Africanism was more through the ideology, and then coming from Brooklyn, it's kind of like a Pan-African haven already. If you're around certain people, like there's man Rastas and Black nationalists, and there's like what you call it, 5%ers. I was a 5%er from young, so the Nation of Islam's everywhere. So it's always that essence in the city. And what was missing, so like shout out to the school of Medina, but the 5%ers got school. The Nation of Islam has a school. Richard Green is one of my elders, and Pan-African. He created the Crown Heights Youth Collective in the 80s, and he turned a bunch of abandoned buildings into a school. And there's the Sankofa Academy, there's Marcus Klein in Chicago, there's Baba Amin in Texas, there's Baba Baruti in Atlanta, Sister Bernita, there's different charter schools, and we all have a similar challenge. It's either ask the government for money, or ask parents for money, or ask the community for money.
Yeah.
And so there's a brother in Texas who, my research in the environmental project and the people on our team led me to Texas Southern University, and a brother there named Robert, what the hell is his name? TSU, the Bullard, Robert Bullard. Bullocks or Bullard? The Bullard Center, Robert Bullard. Now this dude is no joke, and he completely overhauled Robert D. Bullard. Yeah, you want to see some Black power, Robert D. Bullard, and this is coming from Brooklyn. I don't know this man from a hole in the wall. He's became my new picture of success, my new, where I want to be at. And he took environmental justice and shaped the Black struggle through the lens of environmental social justice.
Okay.
And real dope approach. And so articulating many of our issues, like right now, the space where I'm in, I'm facing the projects, and there's tons of health issues that's associated with the projects. There's tons of financial issues that people are going to face here that's going to create health issues. There's tons of lack of resources issues that are just based off of living in this area. And so making that statement where, forget the race part, the race is attached to living in this area. The only people who were forced to live in this area happen to be Black people.
Right.
So his approach was that it becomes the biggest conversation, and environmental social justice is the angle to which we technically need to focus on. And that being like a new space for me to like really concentrate on. We're like, how do we understand that in Brooklyn? And when I saw him doing it in the South, because they went through Katrina, and during Katrina, we know that the environmental, of course, disaster happened, but because you lived in a certain zone, you didn't have access to resources, right? You got service last.
Yes.
And this is environmental injustice. And when you look at it from the types of plants that grow in a Black community, in Chicago, we have a limited amount of vegetation. The indigenous species that grow in communities are limited. The variation of plant life in our communities is limited. The quality, the air pollution index is higher in our community. The sound pollution index in our community. So what I figured out in New York is how to connect the electrical engineering stuff that I work on with environmental. and that birthed this room and this program we're working on. So I'm all about robotics and stuff like that. So this is our environmental engineering room. So anybody connected to Robert Bullard, let them know we're coming to Texas, man. Our computer science teachers in Texas, and we want to be able to show something from New York that's worthy of a conversation with Texas, because they're like one of the leading research programs for Blackboard. I mean, Biden he was the head of the EPA research board, and to see him and the head of that, dishing out tons and tons of grants to do research on environmental injustice, environmental science, and knowing that we can bring environmental engineering to another level,
right,
really brings us like a hyper conversation. So we're introducing that here and in our location in North Carolina. So I'm like, I'm really the robotic side, but this is my baby right here, and this is my way to get into agriculture. I don't do the food growing, but now I'm all in the club with the farms. We partner with 8 farms, garden farms in New York City. We have a greenhouse we're going to be developing and renovating in North Carolina. And so, I'm really excited about that. So anybody into gardening and want to do a smart garden, has a city contract or a state-based or
I got, look, I'm going to connect you to a brother named Dr. Bruce Strobel Jr. I'm actually going to interview him in 2 weeks. He along with another sister named Camille Lewis, that's what they do, environmental justice and gardening. Camille has a organization called Earth's Garden where they teach children how to garden. I'm gonna connect y'all.
See, our angle, just so you know, so we're in the data collection. So we make smart gardens.
Yes, that's gonna be good.
So we can have their garden monitor. We can monitor we can create automated irrigation systems. We can monitor the pH, soil moisture, air quality at the plant level, growth rate, indigenous species monitoring, tree monitoring, like all those different like automated systems, and that's where we connect all of it together. So while they're teaching them how to grow, we can now turn the program into a interdisciplinary program where we connect computer science, physical computing, a little bit of like automation technology, and whatever else fields that we can grab on with research. And this is literally available in every city. Like, so anybody in any city, I would love to connect with.
Man, I got the perfect people for you, man. And what's the greatest thing is how you're describing it. It all falls in place because we have 3 main community gardens here, and all those community gardens are in those Black communities that don't have nothing. One of them, the main one I'm thinking, is on the south side, like right down the street from the projects, and it's struggling. And so to be able to have the technology to come in to help that and just pouring in the information, it's connecting all that, it's going to be great. So we're gonna talk more offline about this because we need to connect anyway. But we got to get you and PC. We got to get y'all down here to Tallahassee. Yes, sir. So
I got like 4 or 5 students in Texas. I mean in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, we have an online component too. So anywhere we can connect. We got the internet, social media. This is the era to connect. Social media. Like I wouldn't have got the space in North Carolina or connected to manage people without so like this is a Pan-African Black nationalist dream, this era to me. Like this is the best era to connect with Black folks. Like I don't like just connect with like anywhere. Like this the internet we can connect. I'm like, let's run with it. Let's not stop running with it. Like,
straight up. Nah, I'm with you, man. We got a couple questions for you from the audience. Battle Genja is asking about code writing and Raspberry Pi implementing Arduino programming.
Arduino.
Yeah,
we do Arduino. I'm not the biggest fan of Raspberry Pi because they're a little expensive. So this is our STEM lab, one of the STEM labs. And so this is Arduino right here. And the other room we use ESP32s. So these are some of the projects that is working on. These are mechanical engineering, mechatronic projects. That's an automated hydraulic bridge. People sometimes be joking on me because I'm always with the popsicle sticks, but we use the popsicle sticks to show them structural engineering, and they learn the basis of rigid body structures and how the rigid body structures can be used with basic mechanical devices to make them move, and everything has structure inside of it. So, learn structure first and then mechanical parts. So yeah, this is Arduino right here. All of the students in our program are introduced to this. We also use Tinkercad to introduce them to an online component. Sometimes our parents may not have the money. I try to buy as many as possible for the kids online. But yeah, robotic linear arm with linear actuators. That's an automated crane. For the environmental projects, we use ESP32s because it comes with the built-in Wi-Fi. Some robots over here. Some car. I don't know what the other car. We do 3D printing. All the kids learn 3D printing. It's a car. My son is actually working on this car.
Okay.
This you got to redo the linkage arms. But yep, we got a computer science program for adults that we're also going to be partnering and doing. And just some of the space. There's the 3D printing program. So kids come in the program, they learn how to do the 3D printing.
That's so cool, man.
So, and anybody can see where the donations go. I just got this space. We're still setting it up. It's kind of expensive, but if you want to partner up and do some programs on the weekend, of a classroom, still setting up these 2 classrooms. I just got a lot of furniture donations from this organization called Material for the Arts. Some more 3D printers. Even though we're going to replace these, I'm probably going to get those away. Here's our workshop area. So all the kids that physically come to the program have to learn how to use tools and get familiar with tooling. And we got a little mini music studio, multimedia room here.
Yeah, man, that's so cool, man. We can see it. It's real. It's there. You're doing it, and you have a history of doing it, and that's the greatest part about it. And y'all hit that like button, but make sure you all support. Don't forget to drop your link in the chat.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I gotta do it on the other phone.
Yeah, so people can support you and what you got going on. Like, nah, man, it's so cool, man. Everything you got going on in that lab, everything you got with the children. But like you say, you're shaping their minds to literally be able to build their future. Because right now, the way we're set up, everybody else is going to build our future for us, and they're going to hire us to manage them building our future rather than you putting them in place, doing what you're doing to help put them in place to literally build their futures from the ground up. Because if not, we're going to be in trouble. Oh, man.
That's it. And be an owner of it.
Man, that's so cool as hell. This is what I mean, our reload for resistance. Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
And we can quantify it too. That's something we want to be able to start doing, is quantifying our statements. Like, I want to be able to state quantifiably, like, children enrolled in our program by 17 are going to be gainfully employed, at by 19 and a half.
Right.
Right. They're going to bring in, and they're not coons, they're not Sambos. Like, our African studies curriculum is pretty extensive. I'm always refining it. And I have, I don't want to say one of the only, but I'm revising it. So there's something called the science of reading and evidence-based instruction. And so I'm introducing an African-centered educational model with the science of reading and evidence-based instruction. And I think that's going to also help with, we're going to see the data on it, with how we develop a deep comprehension of our story.
Right.
Versus I think some of us just telling people the history. We want to make sure they comprehend it. So some of the classes we offer, we have colonization. Typically that's a 1-year class, and that explicitly goes through the different colonizing factors in the diaspora from the 1500s. I think that's a huge issue in the community, where people just don't have no clue about the depths in the organization of colonization. Like, that's, nor the impact of it on the Western. Like, we just say slavery. Black people are like, no, you need to know what are the name of the colonizing agencies, who and how they organize it. What were the differences between the different colonizers, and how do those differences impact Black people? And that also goes in for our rebellions of the diaspora class. To understand the rebellions of the diaspora, you have to understand the different colonization factors. You'll hear people say, why weren't Black Americans fighting like we were fighting? But there's a difference in how Maroons fought in the Caribbean versus how Black people fought in North America, And so you wouldn't know that if you didn't know that there's different colonizing factors.
Exactly.
So we have Rebellions of the Diaspora. That's one of my favorite classes. All of them my favorite class. Then there is Writing and Speeches of the Diaspora. We have Art and Social Justice. Great Writings and Speeches is where they explicitly, or they go over different speeches and writing stuff. You know, the freedom fighters and so on and so forth. Then there is Art and Social Justice, which the students tend to like that class the most. That's when we analyze how art was used as a tool for injustice in Black people in America. So whether the caricatures that were created through the minstrel, the effects of Jim Crow minstrel era, the effects of programming, stereotypes, the typical stereotypes that Black people fulfill in TV and media, the effects of that on TV, the effects of stereotyping in other aspects that are greater than our own self-imagery, but the literary aspects of stereotyping in the community. And then also how Black people have used art in the exact opposite to fight against social injustice in our community. You know, and so the students tend to love that class. They're all great. They love that class, especially when we go into the art and they get to listen to, you know, rappers talking about injustice, and then they get to go into art, and we get to watch movies. And but one thing we were missing that I've been able to introduce now is the deep comprehension component, because we want the students to really understand it, not as just a regurgitation of history, but as a tool for them to stand on with and move with, and for understanding. One of my students asked me, like, why is this important? I was like, our society is predicated off of historical events. And if you don't understand those historical events in context of society and social development of social norms and policies, we're going to be ignorant to how they play today. And from a Black perspective, it's our responsibility to learn this. You're not going to go into one public school in America and learn about, and we're uploaded. I'm completely overhauling this class. I'm glad we're talking about it because y'all could critique it. So this is last year. I have a whole new approach this year. Where I said the science of reading, evidence approach, and then we're also making it research-based. So this is typically for junior high school kids. The younger children get Our Black Legacy, Celebrating Black Leadership. It's kind of centered around that, where we just kind of like just keep throwing dope Black people in history at them. What did they do? Why did it impactful? What were the challenges they faced? And it's kind of a simpler theme. But when they get older, from at least, I think it's usually 5th grade, 4th and 5th, sometimes 4th and 5th. I think 4th and 5th does colonization. They do a simpler version of colonization. And what's the other class? Law and Social Justice. Although that's been a tough one to introduce, we wrote that one out. I'm fiending to do that class. You know, to really analyze how law has been used as a tool for injustice and policies for injustice, and how Black people had to use law to fight against injustice. So that's the bulk of our African Studies class. So now this year, like I said, we're adding the changes in the instructional methodology, and we're also adding the research component. And so with the talks about, you know, FBA, all of the arguments between the xenophobic culture that's developing online, the push for reparations, the lack of understanding of reparations and why Black people need reparations, it was like, you know what, let's make our program, and again, this is also learning from the Bullard, how can we make our story legit and make it where we're consistently contributing to our story? And so several people was like, you know, Q, you should do a photography program with your African Studies program, and you should do a film program. I said, all right, so how would I put this into the research statement? We did a video with students doing a video. We had them do last year we had them do an AI video on 5 reasons why Black people deserve reparations. The year before that, we had them do a video as groups on why Black people need reparations. This year, they're going to be doing that again, but we're going to be looking at it from the research component and the exposure component. So they'll be doing the impact of policies. So we have students all over the country, and y'all steal these ideas. I don't really care. Like, it's whatever. You know what I mean? Like, push Black power. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we have students all over the country. And so this year, we're going to be introducing them to the opportunity to do localized Black-based research. So what does that mean? So just whatever. It's how did policies affect Black people in your region? You know, what were the effects of Jim Crow policies in your region? What were the social changes that happened due to migrational patterns in your region? How does urbanization affect Black people in your region? How does representation affect Black people in your region? So making all of these pure arguments, this year we're going to weaponize our students with research in terms of African studies. And so that's my new goal with the Institute, is to really like teach them like you can be the argument. And you don't have to wait for somebody else to make an argument. You don't have to quote white data. You can do your own statistics. You can work with statisticians. You can work with data miners and data collectors to create your argument. And you should be able to be proficient in creating an argument for your people. And understanding it from a research space puts them in a whole different category. And you don't, not that I don't want us to go to college for African studies, but I don't promote going to college for African studies. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't do African studies, or having, you know, some of those classes, or be involved in the promotion and development of African-centered and Black-centered schools. So I'm really hype about Professor Carl Tone. That was something I'm supposed to call you about. I'm mad hype about, and then with everything going on with the Schomburg, not the Schomburg, with the Smithsonian, I'm even more hype about making it research-based. I'm like, this is perfect. Like, let's turn the whole community into the Black story. And so I think, and I'm not shooting at this, I'm standing on the backs of my ancestors, backs of giants. And so to my further contribution is saying like, all right, let's refine the argument so that way the future has a proper argument. Like, I mean, looking at Brownsville right now, like, unless the EPA comes and tells Black people over here the issue, nobody knows the effects of migration patterns in Brownsville. Like, what does it, how does this affect Black people moving 90,000 Black people into housing areas? How does this affect Black people? Does this correlate to the crime? You know what I mean? Does this correlate to the health issues? What does this correlate to, and who's who's actually in front of the conversation and determining or administering the research on how to figure out the correlations? And if it's only white people, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. And again, that brings us back to science.
Now, seriously though, because like you're saying, and you've been hitting that for a while, a lot of us don't understand the environmental injustices or the environmental racism that's happening around us on a regular basis. The environment we live in, the bad quality of the soil, the bad quality of the water, the actual pollution. Like when you walk through your community and there's actually trash everywhere, noise pollution. Like the infrastructure on your side of town is in worse state than on the other side of the town. You see everything else being built up, but you can't, and you're waiting on the city. We're waiting on the city because we can't do it ourselves. But if we support what you have going on, and people like yourself, we'll have generations of people who can fix their own infrastructure and not have to wait on the government, the city, whoever who already not doing it, to further not do it, because we can do it ourselves.
And that's our responsibility.
Yeah. Equipping our youth to solve their own problems. And education is used, or education is supposed to be able to help us solve our problems. And that's what you're doing. You're taking education and helping our youth be able to solve their problems, man. Hats off to you and what you got going. First of all, we got to see the lab. We got to see it. It's actually up. It's actually running. Students saying that you have things actually going on. And, you know, not to throw no shots, but just to be for real, like it's actually happening right now, what you have going on. So I want all my people to make sure that y'all support. And I'll make sure I put the link to support the Institute in the description of the video as well. So if you go back for the replay, you can still have it in the description as well. Because you have to be supported. You have to have people backing you, and we have to back people who are actually doing things within our community, right? So yeah, two things. We have to connect. And it's interesting, you're talking about the colonization. That's what I started my students on in my Black History Saturday school today. So I made them build their own like African kingdom because I want them to get invested in their kingdom that they're building from top to bottom, from the laws, everything about this kingdom, making them build this kingdom. And when we come back for our next session, I'm gonna see if because I've been telling them your continuity has to be tight. I'm gonna see if my tactics will allow me to colonize them, and then we're going to teach them actually what colonization is and the history behind white supremacy and how it became, and the history behind the rise of Europe and how they taken over the world. So, like you say, we need to understand what happened to us. And we need to understand specifically what happened to us in the United States versus what happened to us in the Caribbean, Central America, South America, all over the globe. So it's a specific programming that we got with our chattel slavery. So I'm so excited that you are covering all of that. So the website is the Zax Institute.org. That's the website, the Zax Institute.org. Let me type that into.
It's the Zax Institute.org. I got a lot of stuff on there I need work on. I'm not gonna lie, I do a lot of work myself. So if anybody wants to get involved with scrutinizing the Institute, critiquing, being an advisor, volunteer, I'm always looking for somebody that's like trying to be involved. Yeah, we need people. This is not gonna work by myself. So get involved, get involved, get involved. I gotta fix the website, but it's ZaxInstitute.com, and then we also ZaxTheMovement.org. That's the parent nonprofit organization. Hopefully I'll have them both re-edited, but you can go into the website and get some information. Anything you see that may be messed up, just let me know. I gotta fix the website. But yeah.
Gotta do it, man. It's on the screen, the ZaxInstitute.org. Make sure y'all go support. We have to support our own. We have to. We can't keep talking trash. We can't be the people who are just talking just to talk, to complain, just to talk what we're gonna complain about. Once again, when we have people in our community that are actually doing what we say we want to do, what we say our children need, you have to support it. Like either the government, he said it, either the government gonna support us, either we can do it ourselves, or the community gonna do it. And if the community gonna do it, then the community has to actually do it. So man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you giving up your time to come on my channel. So we can learn more about you.
Good looks, bro. I appreciate it. Hell yeah. I need more interviews, as many as possible. You know, whatever I can do to promote the program, what we got going on, connect with people that's about doing a similar work.
Yeah, man. And if there's any way that I can help support you or help promote what you got going on, you already let me know. My platform is always available to help push the word out and anything that you got going on, science fairs, whatever you have going on. Just let me know. Hit me up, and we make it happen. And
hell yeah, definitely will do that.
And then being able to connect on the back end, to connect what we have going on in Tallahassee, what y'all have going on up there, man, and make this thing stronger, because it's a couple real community. I'm gonna hook you up, and I'm gonna connect you with my man Sam Carter. Like I say, you remind me of him because you don't just talk about it, you do it, and you're known for doing stuff. So y'all two really need to connect, because I think y'all two got that same energy of really empowering the youth, like really empowering the youth. So I'm definitely connect y'all too. So I got a couple people I got to connect you to.
Yo, if you want to do an event, I'm trying to set up the community. So let me invite you to, and so we do. Yeah, I ain't got my community calendar in front of me, but we do online events. This is something I really want to get involved with. Call Tone, any educators. So we're doing our community calendar, and we do. I think this year we're doing Black Solidarity Day. We might do Nat Turner Day, Harriet Tubman Day. We're gonna try to do Africa Day. So we have the children do an art piece. They can do something with AI. They can do a rap song. They can do music. They can do a book report, whatever they want to do. And then we want elders to come out and speak about the individual or the person that we're talking about. Content creators to come up and speak. You can either do a pre-recorded video, come on a live stream and speak, but really have the children see. Because I think that's an element that's missing. And in Brooklyn, we have that. And it's not as strong as it used to be, but the children are reinforced. Like my kids are reinforced in the community. So they have celebrate the ancestors. We had to move our science fair date up because the elders are like, you can't step on celebrate the ancestors. Like we need the kids to come out there, because how else are we gonna keep our culture together? So we have to celebrate the ancestors out, work with them on that one. Like whatever we can do to celebrate us. So, and then this year we have this space. We also have this space. This is not our specific space exclusively. We have access to this as well. So we can organize panel discussions, community events. So Professor Cartone, we've been doing the science fair in this room and the other room and the other room as well. But we can do community events in here, informational events, you know, all types of stuff here. So that's open to just so you can see it, so you know when you hit me up, like, you're too. Let's set something in New York. We can set something up. Or if you're in the New York area, we can set something up.
Man, now let's do it. You know, I'm down. I am down to do it. I'm down to be involved in any way I can be possible. Let's do it.
Hell yeah. So again, the Institute is info@thezaxinstitute.org. Info@thezaxinstitute.org. The THEXYAYX. We made that word up, name up. .org, institute, or the Zax Institute at Gmail. If you're interested in doing a program, want to connect with us with a program in any way, just send us an email. My personal email is qbutter@gmail. My name is Quentin Spickness, if anybody when you wear, but qbutter is my, internet and professional audio, whatever name. But yeah, if you want to get involved. Please, we need everybody's, because everybody's support makes this happen, y'all.
So I got it on the screen. info@thezaxinstitute.org.
Correct.
Make sure y'all hit them up. Hit them up. Let's support. Let's make sure our warriors in our community are supported. Yes, sir. Man. Big shout out to you. Like all love to what you got going on. Like I say, this is not our last time talking. This is the beginning of building together. Distance ain't no thing because we got a lot of ways to make sure that we connect. So let's stay connected. And we're gonna talk more offline. But once again, I appreciate you coming on this channel. Like what you all have going on is amazing. And once again, let me know how I can help support moving forward. Anything I can do.
Will do, King. Will do. Definitely gonna make that happen.
Yes, sir, man. You enjoy your day, my brother. I appreciate you.
You too, King. Shout out to the chat.
Yes, sir. We'll see you later. Man. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Shout out to the brother Q Butter. Professor Carlton Jones, man, I thank you. This was your idea. To make this happen. So appreciate you, man, for having this great interview to come about and us learn more about the Zax Institute and all the wonderful things that the brother Q Butter got going on. Melanated Goddess, yes, ma'am. Oh, he's asking, was he a popular musical artist? I'm not sure, but I know he's popular in the STEM field in the New York area. So no, you're right, Christine. No black children left behind. He's the example of true science and what the culture always called the science of. So thank him. Yeah. But like I say, no shots thrown, but he's actually doing it. Compared to last week's video, what we talked about last week, right? Going from a figure that was just talking about it for an extended amount of time to somebody during that time was actually doing it. Like, I love it, man. Once again, thanks, PC, man. Thanks. So I do want to address a couple things that I seen in the chat and, kind of get to the, I seen it earlier. I saw a brother. So Christopher Lamont was like, oh no, not another Dr. Umar. And I'm glad, Tisha, I'm glad that some of you in relevant love. I appreciate you all's comments because what separates Q Butter from Dr. Umar's actual work is actual results. Like actual children are being educated. That was the main thing that I was hitting on last week is children have not been educated by Dr. Umar. But go to the zaxinstitute.org. Go to their YouTube channel. Talk to people who are in the Philly area, in the New York area, in that Northeast area. Talk to people. The brother is actually doing real things in the community. If you donate to the Institute. You're donating to something that's actually happening. He took us through the school and showed us the active stuff, right? It's actually open, right? It's actually open. So no scammers, just real work. That's how we do it. So I wasn't even playing that side. I comment and right. Come on, stop that. But the brother Q Butter gonna get his flowers for what he's doing. Oh, he's a musical. I should have asked that. Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. So, yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for stopping by. I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to get the brother Q Butter in the studio today so we can learn more about the Zax Institute using STEM technology. So it reminds me of what we have going on here in Tallahassee. So I do want to give another shout out to Miss Camille Lewis and Dr. Bruce Strobel for their efforts in educating our young Black children in STEM and in environmental justice and environmental research, just in the environment here in Tallahassee, Florida. They spent a lot of time. They had a summer camp here in town, and I was able to come into the summer camp and give lessons. I taught them on about the history of the Massa, the history of Burkina Faso, and how that area was colonized by the white people. And so that same colonization activity that I did with those kids in the summer camp that I did today with my students in my Black History School. And shout out to my Black History students, Samara, Emeka, and Matthew. I got 3 students right now. We're looking to grow. So if you're in the Tallahassee area and you're looking for something for your children to do that's productive, we have our On the Shoulders of Giants Saturday school every second and fourth Saturday at the Carter's Corner. So all you got to do is hit me up and we'll make sure we make it happen. These sessions be busting hard as it's sawed off. It's the epitome of Black on Black pride, the motivational info of constructive value. I appreciate you, Battle Cancer. I appreciate you sending me your link for your videos too. My bad by getting back to you late on the email, but I was checking you out and I like what you had going on. I like how you was checking them folk too. You don't be playing. I love it. Battle Cancer, you don't be playing, man. Keep them folk in line. I appreciate that. Yeah. So we need to see more Blacks. Yes. So in 2 weeks, I will have the brother Bruce Strobel Jr. on my show. He's a stout leader in environmental justice. He just recently released a book by Any Dreams Necessary, and it's in the realm of environmental justice. So we're going to have him on in 2 weeks to talk about that and what he has going on here in not just the Tallahassee community, but nationally. So if you know people who are doing real things in the community, hit me up. Hit my email, ontheshoulders1@gmail.com. Hit me up and please let me put those people on my platform. I want to use this platform to highlight our Black people who are doing amazing things in our community. This is On the Shoulders Live. I'm rebranding this. This is no longer Negro News. I've rebranded. No longer Negro News. This is now On the Shoulders Live, and we are talking about everything in our community that we need to talk about. But mostly, I want to highlight the people in my community. Funding seems to be the big problem. Yes, funding is a huge problem in our community. Funding is a huge problem, especially if whatever you're doing is actually going to empower disenfranchised low-income Black students. Funding is very limited unless you are crafty, creative, or unless you come in already with the funds, right? You need to know people that can help you help yourself. But ultimately, the community has to do a better job of funding people who are actually doing things. The community has money. We know the community has money because, like, I use my Tallahassee community for an example. I know the Tallahassee community has money. Why? Because football season finna come up, and they finna spend a whole lot of money on football to go watch football. Matter of fact, football has started. High school football has started in this city, and a whole lot of money was made last night at that Rickards High School and Godby High School football game, right? When sports happen, and I'm just using my city as an example. When football happens specifically, money gets spent. That same money that people don't have to put into education and to fund these other things, they get put into football. So we know people got money. So we just need to be more intentional about funding our own initiatives, funding the people in our community who do the most and do actual things, who actually help the children. Yeah, the smart garden. So that smart garden gonna be live, man. Because I'm just thinking about that smart garden. I was thinking about our garden on our south side of town that's right next to our Hollyfield projects, and how that smart garden could collect so much data and just it could push forward like a lot of things that's going on. So I'm definitely going to connect him with Camille, Dr. Bruce Strobel, but there's another young lady, Whitney Moore. Whitney Moore will be able to benefit from that. And also not just the Hollyfield projects, because for the smart garden gonna be cool too, because so our gardens literally sits walking distance from our housing projects. Well, it's the Sunshine Apartments, but we call it the Hollyfield projects. And I've been trying to work with the management from the Hollyfield projects for over 10 years about getting them connect. Well, however long that garden been, I've been working with them to get connected with the people from the garden, but it hasn't happened. So maybe the smart garden concept could help get the projects more connected with that. That's what's up, man. Why wouldn't it be a problem? It is uplifting us as a threat. True. It would be a problem for them, right? But I understand why though others won't fund us, but we need to make sure we fund them. Now you're right. That's a great point, Nemesis. You're right. If we can find funding, get a land. I'm just saying, Ricardo, we fund everything else. Appreciate you, my brother. You a real one, man. Appreciate you, my brother. So yes, we definitely getting Q Butter connected with the smart gardens here in Tallahassee. He's getting connected with Bruce and Camille. It's very hard to get grants nowadays. Yeah. So I have some connections in here in my city. I do a lot of work that I don't talk about. I do a lot of stuff, and I've helped a lot of people. Hell, I've forgot a lot of people that I've helped. But I've got a bit of social currency that I've been saving up to use. And I haven't used that social currency because I've been waiting on the best opportunity to use that social currency to help my community. So I think I found something that I can use that social currency in to be able to get the right people in the right places, to put the right money behind the right things to make things happen in our community. And we're going to use this African-centered education angle. So shout out to Stacy Dixie, Sam Dixie. Shout out to Candace May. Shout out to Sam Carter for allowing us to use the space. These are the people who pour into my Black History School. Thank you to Miss Lynn Jones for giving us the information and the artifacts that we were able to use in the Black History School. As somebody who educates young Black kids, I use the money that is in my pocket, and I use some of the money that is that is given to me via Cashapp, via your people like yourselves. So my brother, I want to give a quick shout out to my brother for donating to On the Shoulders of Giants in our Black History School, because I was able to go buy some more products and things, or materials and things that we needed today for our school to get our lesson done. So thank you to Michael Anthony Clark Jr. Like I said, today I taught them how to, we spent time on building they built a kingdom, because that's the whole part of their activity, is they're going to build a kingdom. I want them to build a solid, unified kingdom. And the object is for me to come back and try to colonize them. And if they allow me to colonize them, then the kingdom has some flaws, and we go back and sew up them flaws. But it's going all into me teaching my students about colonization. Yep. We do, PC. We do. So we have to fund our own. So I think that's why I'm always thanking everybody who's sending money my way to help what we got going on. So thank you, because it goes into the materials that we use, to the poster boards, to the markers, to the crayons, to the pens, the pencils. So thank you to everybody who support what On the Shoulders of Giants has going on, and support any educational system, anybody who out there doing things. Y'all keep supporting them. This is how we keep it going. So I'm close to bringing this to an end. So Ricardo Float, man, as always, I appreciate you. Professor Carlton Jones, you are a real one. You're a real big brother, man. Thank you. Jason Reels, you're a real one, my brother. First class should be self-love. Yep. Well, yes, and that's why I like to teach about self-esteem and self-respect and self-love in my lessons. I like to teach them about colonization, and then come back and teach them why we need to love ourselves. So that's a great point, Jason. Yes. So Real Brother got the bag. Thank you for tuning in, my brother. Chris Hill, thank you for tuning in. Q Butter, once again, you're a real one. Thank you. We will be supporting you and everything you got going on, my brother. Thank you. Tiffany, one time, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Nemesis X, as always, you're a real one. Thank you for the great comments. Christine, thank you for your support, the great comments. Thank you. I'm gonna have to make y'all admin some admin on in this chat. Battle Genja, as always. And I'm going to listen to I listened to the first video that you sent. I'm going to listen to the second one, but I love the way you was checking those people, and get them right. They have to do it right the first time. They have to treat people right. Get them right. I love that. Miss Mesh 977, thank you for tuning in. Melanated Goddess, thank you for tuning in. Who else we have that tuned in? Tisha, thank you for tuning in. And like the comment, he's not a scammer. So I don't know. Christopher Lamont, I don't know what you got going on, but you didn't provide no evidence. So let's not do that unless we could provide evidence, my brother. We have evidence that Umar is scamming. Ghoul, thank you for tuning in. Relevant Love, thank you for tuning in. Black American Television News and Information, thank you for tuning in. Chris Hill, if I missed you, thank you for tuning in. Make sure I don't like to miss people. And one time, PC, thank you for the $20 super chat. The Tax Maven Agency, thank you for tuning in. And L Little Indian Pigeon Feather Bay, thank you for tuning in. Corey, thank you for tuning in. But also, before I go, this the fundraiser that the organization I'm a part of. So I'm a board member of Maternal and Perinatal Services. Maternal and Perinatal Services offers free breastfeeding education, childbirth education, and postpartum support for Black families in the Tallahassee area. We are doing a 31-day calendar style fundraiser. So the object is whatever day of the month it is, that's how much money you would donate. So today is the 23rd. So you will go with Cashapp, $MAPS 850, and you would donate $23. This money that you're donating is going to helping to continue to provide free services, especially for Black mothers, Black children, Black fathers, to care for themselves, to learn how to be better parents, to learn how to be just better human beings and better adults overall. But my friend, my sister, my classmate, Miss Kira Adams, this is an organization that she created from her imagination and used the money in her pocket to serve the people in Tallahassee area. And I'm proud to be a part of the board. So I'm asking, please donate. And today, if you donate today, it's $23 to help MAPS be able to serve more people in our Tallahassee community. I'm a part of a couple things, and I'm connected with a lot of people who really go out and really boots on the ground serving in our community, and I'm gonna continue to highlight those people. So I'll just ask, please donate to MAPS and help MAPS continue to serve our Tallahassee community. So, man, I love y'all. Y'all know I love y'all, everything we got going on. Please continue to support on the Shoulders of Giants. So let's do that. I love you all. Y'all make sure y'all catch the next video coming up. Make sure you catch the Friday breakdowns and everything that we got going. And I'm dropping clips and stuff tomorrow. And we do got a holiday coming up. There's a holiday coming up on the I think the 1st. Yeah, I think September 1st is the holiday. So I think it's a good chance I'm gonna go live that holiday, September 1st. What's that? Labor Day, one of them days, Labor Day, Memorial Day. I don't be knowing my holidays like that, but I think I'm gonna be going live that Monday. So y'all be prepared. And we're gonna go in. And I don't think the live will be my book reading. I'm still gonna drop my book reading, but I'm going live because I want to talk to y'all, because I'm gonna have time to talk to y'all. So why not talk to y'all? So I love you all. Please continue to support this channel. Please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share. Please continue to support people within your community that are actually boots on the ground doing things to help the community get better, to help the people get better. Let's stop supporting celebrities. Matter of fact, support the people in your community who are actually doing things more than you support the celebrities. So if you spend $300 on some Beyonce tickets, go to your local community person and spend $600. All right, let's do it. Let's make sure we take care of us, because if we don't take care of us, we can't complain about nobody else taking care of us, not taking care of us. All right, enjoy y'all weekend like Nemesis X says. Enjoy y'all weekend. Stay blessed. Love you all. Catch y'all on the other side. Thank you again. Q Butter, you're a real one.